Returned, we have Tooth Gray Fog.
We're at part 3 of the Separate Ways playthrough. Rocket Rabbit, Chapter 2. Crows, trees, cabin, old man staring vehemently into your soul. Now, this book that Ada's reading, this actually contains the images from the ending cutscene for the ending credits for the game. It shows how the villagers got infected with Las Plagas.
So where is he now?
He's held captive
Now,
in an abandoned house located northeast of the village.
So at this point in the game, Leon is on his way to find Lewis for the first time. So while he's trapped in Chapter 1-1, Ada is in Chapter 2 of her story. Yeah, Ada, what would it be like to have Ada as a bona fide girlfriend?
It would be fucking terrible. She's horrible at keeping secrets. She is incredibly obsessed with her physical physique to the point where she wears, ridiculously inappropriate clothing to missions just to show off. And she also has this fascination with weaponry.
And she won't do my laundry!
Exactly!
No, see, if up ahead I'm gonna show getting the brass pocket watch from above a tub of crap. If you accidentally shoot the brass pocket watch first without destroying the wooden bar that lowers the lid underneath it, and the thing falls into the shit, Ada will not pick it up. I mean, let alone that in Leon's campaign, it loses 90% of its value if it gets dirty. Ada will not pick it up. She says, ooh, I'm not touching that. It's like, yeah, you cause fucking blood to spill out of people's eyeballs with your blazing guns and your fucking shotgun blast, but you won't pick up a dirty pendant that's worth money. Shame on you. Also, why does she wear a collar around her neck?
That way you can fantasize about choking her on that bed.
Your selection of good. What are you selling?
Like you just get so angry with her, you just fucking... Because you're technically watching from behind her the entire time you're playing, so every time you get pissed at her, you fucking grab those things around her neck and just start choking her. Like, you fucking bitch, I told you to shoot! Money! Yay! I suppose it goes without saying that all the item locations are exactly the same as they are in this game as the next one. And strangely enough, including the village section coming up. In the village section coming up, you could have gotten every single item... You could have gotten every single item in the village in Chapter 1 of Separate Ways, but when you come back to it in Chapter 2, all the items are reset. Even though when Leon does it, all the items do not get reset for him.
I can explain that in coding if you want.
Okay, give me your explanation.
Mission 1 and Mission 2 for Ada Wong are actually treated as separate instances. Whereas for Leon, they are not because, it's all one open world map.
Well, I mean, yeah, but how hard could it be just to make the game remember this one little detail about this one room that does not change except for the item locations? Or the enemy locations. Yeah, you got a surprisingly small amount of money from that particular chest right there in that cupboard. These guys must really like setting up for this ambush position, because this is exactly the same formation you find in the one-player campaign. I don't know why I described it as one-player, because there is no multiplayer option in Resident Evil 4. But yeah, in the Leon campaign, you also fight a chainsaw dude right here, with two dudes tagging along to distract you. Don't throw your shit at me! Oh yeah, and I'm also gonna show you can kill the chainsaw guys with just your knife. Oops, did I spoil? No, I didn't. This is the less frequently seen Don Esteban chainsaw guy. So he sounds like Don Esteban when you shoot him, and when he dies, but when he attacks you, he uses the Dr. Salvador sound effects.
Again, random syllables in a foreign language.
Do you guys, like, all consult to the same script when you set up in these specific locations to ambush me? I swear to God, it's like I've done this before, or something.
Those tacits of hers keep clipping through her shoulder blades.
They... Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, because she's... The coding that governs how she appears and how objects around her are rendered is exactly the same as Leon's coding, and Leon doesn't have tassels hanging from his back.
Well,
I mean...
Well, here's the thing. Those tassels are very, very susceptible to outward movement. You'll notice that whenever she turns, the tassels just fly all over the place.
Yeah.
You see, they're whipping back and forth like your hair.
You make my hair, I whip my hair back and forth, I whip my hair back and forth. I don't think they developed the coding for those tassels before the PS2 version of the game. It was the PS2 version also that introduced Gangster Leon as an unlockable costume, who has a white scarf hanging around him that behaves fairly similarly to how Ada's tassels are behaving right now. Again, these daylight sections are pathetically easy because Ada's weapons are overpowered. The TMP does 1.2 damage for every shot, by the way.
Yeah, that means that at base for base ammo, it's got like what 120 raw damage per clip. And if you know how to disperse it appropriately, that's more than enough to take down most of the enemies at the moment. Not that I know what any of the enemies' health meters are like.
I believe that woman hitting me just now made me jump while I was recording this because I did not hear her come in.
Well, I did.
I didn't. Ada, don't worry. I swear
you kicked the door in his face.
You still look attractive. No chance, no chance. You have no chance. Money. I should also mention that whenever you pick up herbs in separate ways, the herbs don't look the same way as they do in the main campaign. They take on sort of a blockier texture, and I remember in the PS2 version of the game, which is probably one of the worst looking ports of Resident Evil 4 I've ever seen, they all looked like that.
So maybe they're using the PS2 ports for their cinematics and item models.
Well, no, but then how do you explain the enemy models? Because the enemy models look the same in PS2 whether you were playing the main campaign or separate ways, and all the enemy models look like shit. In this, all the enemy models look like they came directly from either the Wii or the GameCube. But again, I don't know if the coding for this game is original or if it's based on a pre-existing port. When will the music stop? The suspense is killing me.
Well, it's only gonna play for a couple more minutes. It's okay, Cloud.
Well, I mean... So, well, god damn it. I gotta go... Yep. I gotta hit every item location all over again because they all respawned for some inexplicable reason. Die, fat man.
Wait a minute, he threw a weapon at you, and now he has his weapon back.
Yeah, actually, if you're standing behind those guys, there's no real name for them because all the Ganados are programmed pretty much exactly the same, but there's some classifications of Ganados that will continuously pull weapons out of their asses and just keep throwing them at you.
Like Chaos Emeralds.
So literally what happens, the enemy model, he reaches behind his back, and when he pulls his hand away, he's holding a weapon. But the weapon that he just pulled is still on his ass. So it's like he could just pull out of a fucking universal nexus point where he can pull infinite numbers of weapons out of his ass. I don't know why, you can't question these things. I hate projectile throwers in this game. They account for at least 90% of the injuries that I sustain in any playthrough of this game.
Okay, what about total deaths?
Well, no, they never kill me. The only times I ever die is by QuickTime events.
Behind you!
I really wish they just made it so that I only had to pick up the items once.
Well, you could most certainly skip these items if you really wanted to.
Skip items? In a survival horror game? Are you insane?
Yes! I'm the asshole that cheated to complete Resident Evil 2, remember?
I didn't even know you played Resident Evil 2.
Oh, I used sandbox mode to play through Resident Evil 2 on both different stories.
How was Ada in Resident Evil 2, by the way?
I don't even recall if Ada was there, but we are on to the next part.
Oh yeah, end of part. Save room.